Hello and welcome to CoreTV News on the Hour. I am Omotayo Alo. President Muhammad Buhari has warned police authorities it will not tolerate any irregularities or extortionate money from unemployed Nigerians in the forthcoming recruitment into the force. The president made a stance known at a meeting with officials of the Ministry of Police Affairs and the Police Service Commission in the presidential villa, Abuja, on Thursday. He expressed sadness at applicants having to pay bribes before being accepted into the police in time past, noting that this was totally unacceptable. In a statement signed by Femi Adesina, the president's special advisor on media and publicity, President Buhari admonished officials in charge of recruitment and training in the police to be above board and ensure every form of extortion and underhand dealing. He also directed the Inspector General of Police, Solomon Araze, to prune down the number of policemen attached to dignitaries and to redeploy all policemen withdrawn from that role to regular police duties. For his part, Chairman of Police Service Commission Mike Okiro said the country needed to have more than 3,579 policemen and women, which it has at present for effective policing.
The front burner. We recognize this from a very long time and embarked on a reform of the police that necessitated the adoption of a reform program that was programmed over 6 years, in which both the private sector and other agencies were expected to chip in their own bit. The problem we are having is that whereas the federal government is helping in its own way, the support we are supposed to be getting from the private sector and other organizations are not coming in. And that's why we plead with those that can be of help to the police to do so. There can never be a specific amount to quote that you need for the police to function effectively. If you know what it takes to keep patrol all over the whole country, 36 states of the Federation and all that, keep vehicles on the road, keep the men on the road, you will have an idea what funding requirements can be. So overall, the police requires whatever funding that could be garnered to support its operations.
The Inspector General of Police, Solomon Araze, has ordered police personnel to desist from harassing any Nigerian who willingly attends to accident victims. He also wants members of the public, including medical personnel, to attend to such people and anyone with gunshot injuries before informing the police for necessary action. Police spokesman Emmanuel Ojukwu said in a statement that the Inspector General took the decision on the basis of constant neglect and consequent death of accident victims in many parts of the country. He added that doctors on duty are duty-bound to treat victims of gunshot wounds as well as supply relevant facts to the police. President Muhammad Buhari has charged the Federal Ministry of Health to sustain the current level of vigilance, especially in the fight against Ebola virus. The president gave the directive at a closed-door meeting with the permanent secretary of the Ministry of Health at the presidential villa, Abuja. Buhari also wants the health authorities to ensure that Nigerians get the best medical care with less stress.
A resilient health system that can respond to any situation of emergency. And we have been able to show that when there was an Ebola outbreak in this country. And so we are going on and on to strengthen this. And in this briefing, we have also cultivated government to witness the rate of achievement, looking at the issue of Ebola. Today, this is receiving international acclaim. And for that reason, Nigeria is now designated regional center for disease control. I can say that the condition for efficient healthcare delivery, the condition for mutual accountability for achieving results in the health sector has been developed.
President Muhammad Buhari says he is ready to take his anti-corruption battle to every facet of national life. This, he says, is to ensure that all government business flow due process and are devoid of any sharp practice. President Buhari made this known at the 15th National Productivity Day Award ceremony in Abuja. Pius Samuel reports that the president was represented by the permanent secretary in the Labour Ministry, Clement Ilo.
It's about 3 months since President Buhari assumed office, but he has not stopped talking about the damage corruption has done to the national economy. And speaking at Thursday's event, he maintained that until corruption is reduced, Nigeria may not attain its economic potentials. The president, who was represented at the occasion, is however convinced that the country can be put back on the right track.
The society at large has recognized that while inadequacy of resources is one of our challenges, mismanagement of the little we have largely through corrupt practices and impunity is the more impactful. To get to the promised land as a nation, we must have no stone unturned in taking the battle to the doorstep of corruption. Corruption is dangerous and cancerous to the nation, and this administration is not prepared to stay in bed with it. We are therefore resolute in our commitment to fight corruption in all its virulent forms in all facets of our national life.
It's the 15th National Productivity Day Award, and 11 individuals and 2 firms were honored. One after the other, they were bestowed with the National Productivity Order of Merit Award. Some of the awardees could not hold back their joy, but they see the award as a call for more service.
More commitment, more sacrifice. You know, sometimes when you are walking and hiding, you think nobody is seeing, but just giving the best. I think there is something better than best. Yeah, and I want to continue to dig in until everything that God has put in me is emptied for this, you know, for this generation and the next generations to come.
I see this award as a call to higher calling and higher input and higher productivity, even as has been mentioned. And so it's an encouragement for me to go all out there and to put, you know, the best of my best. You know, I see myself, you know, climbing the ladder, you know, higher and higher.
We are highly honored and excited, you know, to win this award this year. And we also would like to extend our thanks, you know, to Mr. President Muhammadu Buhari for personally, you know, signing, you know, the certificates of award. And that is a major commitment to productivity. And we, as a Nigerian group, we believe that what our country deserves to do now is to face production in all areas of our ramifications, you know, and try and move our economy, you know, from the oil and gas sector.
Many of the recipients of the award used the forum to call on Nigerian youths to be focused despite the challenges. This, they say, will position the individual to make a difference in the line of duty. Pius Samuel, CoreTV News, Abuja.
The West African Examination Council says it is not considering the adoption of a computer-based mode test of examinations. Head of Nigeria National Office of the body, Charles Eguridu, made the clarification at an interactive session with journalists in Abuja. Eguridu says it would amount to what he called intellectual dishonesty for him to say that the council would introduce CBT in the next 5 years or in the near future. Eguridu stressed that the purpose of education is to prepare people for life, not to pass examinations, hence the need to examine different domains which CBT cannot accommodate. He said the examinations conducted by the council took into cognizance the 3 domains that measured ability to recall, apply, and practicalize. Join us after this break for more stories.
This is what the people are saying.
You don't run a big economy with generator. They need to do more in terms of energy and power.
Many things to do for this Nigeria about lights, water, and
new TT.
For Nigerians that are not gullible, we know that good laws have done nothing good for this country.
Buhari won the election convincingly.
Talk to our husband that you should keep promise about what you said, and because people are watching you, you know, another election is coming.
Because some people will strong for Yoruba land, will be strong man, you don't die.
This nation is moving forward. The best is going to take place. The people giving voice to the voiceless.
Welcome back, and if you're just joining us, it's CoreTV News on the Hour. For more news and information, visit our social media platform, facebook.com/CoreTV News, our Twitter handle @CoreTV News NG. Get more on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/CoreTV, leave a space and news. Operatives of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission have arrested a suspected serial fraudster, Dr. Kunle Adeshola, after issuing a fudged draft to the tune of 3.29 billion naira in a phony land deal. EFCC said in a statement that the suspect, who presented himself as Director of Corporate and Management Service, Amazon, had allegedly entered a contract with an Abuja-based firm for the purchase of 50 units of flats in different locations within the FCT. He was said to have subsequently presented a Dutch bank draft number 081758 in excess of $19 million drawn in favor of Infinity Trust Savings and Loans Limited. But the draft was returned unpaid after Stanbic IBTC PLC discovered it was forged and reported the fraud to the Central Bank of Nigeria. The Apex Bank consequently reported the matter to the EFCC, but on arresting the suspect, it discovered that he had earlier been arrested and prosecuted by the Commission for claiming to be an Assistant Commissioner of Police seconded by the EFCC to investigate the Nigerian Tourism Development Corporation, NTDC. It said the suspect was charged to court in Abuja, but the judge struck out the charges on the grounds that they were not related to financial crimes. EFCC spokesperson Wilson Uwajaran said the suspect will be charged to court as soon as investigation is concluded. Operatives of Imo State Security Network stormed the government in protest over what they describe as unpaid salaries. Some of the operatives who spoke to newsmen of Camera claimed that they have not been paid in the last 8 months. State officials at the State House were unable to calm the frayed nerves of the protesters. The Imo State Security Networks was set up to boost security of the state. We'll bring you details of that later in a subsequent bulletin. A veteran journalist, Bayo Adetoibi, has described a gangsterism, the current trend where journalists covering a particular beat form associations which are referred to as press corps. Adetoibi, who was speaking at a capacity building workshop organized by the National University Commission, NUC, in Abuja for reporters covering the education sector, describes such action as capable of undermining the integrity of the profession. Speaking on the theme professionalism, ethics and beat reportage, the former head of the Nigerian Press Council warned practitioners against indulging in what are described as unlawful.
You need cooperation to be able to work on that. To enhance their effectiveness, beat reporters should have a press room. My word, should have or ought to have. I'm not saying they must have. If the organization you have been sent to cannot afford to give you a press room, too bad, you have to do your work. In fact, I reacted very sadly when, again, at the Lagos airport, the aviation people were kind to give a room for journalists to use as their base.
Former National Deputy Chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Bode George, has asked President Muhammad Buhari to take his anti-corruption war to the next level by probing the last 2 governors of Lagos State, Bola Tinubu and Babatunde Fashola. George said in a statement that it would be wrong of Buhari to claim to be spearheading an anti-graft campaign and at the same time be considering Fashola for appointment in the light of the 78.3 million naira of taxpayers' money Fashola spent on website, which should be rejected. He said Fashola shows no remorse, no semblance of regret, no guilty conscience. Instead, he attempts to ride a high horse, puffing and stammering in feigns seraphic innocence. George said many of the projects undertaken by the Fashola were done at exorbitant prices. He added that the spurious 1.5 billion naira allegedly spent on phantom pedestrian bridges is a con game. George said Fashola should be facing comprehensive investigation rather than being considered for any appointment in the light of the over 419 billion naira debt incurred by Fashola government. Matthew Azuko is seeking justice for his son Emmanuel Matthew, who was allegedly set ablaze by a neighbor over a domestic dispute. Azuko claimed that one Jane Osasa dosed his only son Emmanuel with petrol and set him ablaze at the residence number 13, Alafwa Street, Ayetoro Ajegunle in Uludi, Apapa area of Lagos State. Father of 20-year-old Emmanuel stormed CoreTV studios earlier in the day to call Nigerians to seek justice for his late son. Emmanuel was an undergraduate of University of Uyo who died on Saturday, 15th August, from the injuries sustained from the burnt on his body.
Was on the 20th of March this year. My wife had a little mere argument with the wife of the son of the landlord, who now says the landlady. They had a little mere arguments of changing the key without informing the tenants. While they were still talking, my wife was trying to report to his brother. She now ran and entered the kitchen. Before we know it, he just stabbed my wife at the forehead. That was the beginning of the crisis. Stabbed my wife at the forehead. That was the beginning of the forehead. And my wife was taken to the hospital and later reported to the police. We got to police and invited her and the husband. They came, and everybody expected that the husband would have said, sorry, oh, my wife maybe didn't know what, or it was anger, whatever. The husband said, is the landlord, whatever I like, I can do. And so the police in charge said, well, since this man don't have atom of, I'm sorry, what do you want to do? I said, you charge the matter to court. That was when we went to court. We went to court, and because they have money, they have influence. Went to court, they went and bought the judgment. The matter we reported since on March up till now is in the court. He has killed that case. Now he saw this girl standing, he knew he was waiting for me because already since he had that conflict with my wife and me, he knew the girl came to see me. He just held the girl. He said, these Calabar people, they don't want to come out for this compound. I have never been served with a quick notice. He just hugged this girl, and then before we know, he stabbed the girl on the forehead and stabbed it here. And we reported they give me a police officer, 2 police officers to arrest her. We got there. Maybe she cited the police, and then when he knew that it was not a familiar face, she disappeared. She just ran away. The police officer left a note, and then we came back to Papa. It was at that point that a senior officer gave me a note to whoever is on duty in Jeremy police station. And I took that note that same night, that same day, went to Jeremy, but that girl bleeding was still bleeding, the whole face has swelled up. We got to Jeremy police station. They did not do anything.
We take another break and we'll be back with stories from outside Nigeria, sports and more.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then news. CoreTV News, our 24-hour news station.
Welcome back. And on foreign scene, Thailand police have cleared 2 men identified as suspects in the Bangkok bombing. The pair were filmed by security cameras standing near the prime suspect in Monday's blast at the Arawan Shrine, which killed 20 people. The police spokesman say they were now satisfied the men, a Chinese tourist and his Thai guide, were not involved. The main suspect remains at large, but authorities say they believe he is still in Thailand. Dozens of people were injured in the explosion, with some losing limbs. According to the police, at least 10 people were suspected to be involved in the attack, and their targets were foreigners. North Korea has shelled a South Korean military unit on the western section of the inter-Korean border, a move retaliated by the South's military, according to the South's Defense Ministry. The Defense Ministry says the South Korean military detected a projectile from the north, presumed to be a rocket, into the South Yeoncheon area. Ministry also confirms that the South Korean military fired tens of 155 mm artillery rounds to the origin point of the North Korean projectile after the incident. The official Yonhap news agency says that Seoul will hold a National Security Council session over the shelling. According to officials, the projectile targeted a propaganda loudspeaker at the border and was detected at 3:52 local time. On August 4, 2 South Korean soldiers were seriously injured in a landmine explosion in the southern part of the demilitarized zone, causing them to lose limbs. Super Eagles on Thursday held its first media parley at the team's camp in Abuja, where coach Sunday Olise cleared the air on the invited foreign-based professionals. He explained that the omission of some known names was not deliberate given the circumstances. The technical team, led by Olise and 4 of the home-based players, were also on hand to answer all the questions from journalists. Basiaye has all the details.
It was the first interaction between the team and the media since the chief coach was unveiled as Stephen Keshi's replacement. So it was not a surprise that one of the first questions thrown at Olise was on the 18-man list of foreign-based players invited to camp. Many present at the media interactive session were keen to know the reason why some regular members of the team were left out. The coach had this to say.
I contacted Obi Mikel, called him up on four times. The phone kept on ringing, nobody picked it up. Sent him an SMS, I got no response. Called Victor Moses up, the phone rang three rings, he picked it up. I spoke with him, told him concentrate on your game, and after the game we'll meet. And after the game he came to my hotel, we spoke, and I made him understand that my priority is building a new team. Everybody's starting from zero, and I needed to see players playing.
Then the questions moved to the level of preparedness of the players for the remaining qualifying matches.
Tuesday when we came out and the boys started training, I was like, this is good. We are coming, we're starting from zero. Because in the past 1 year, when we've looked at our Nigerian games, trying to look at players for position, it's always been changing.
When you want to build a solid future, you also need experience for people to understudy. Carl is doing well. At this point in time, we need people that are doing well so that we can also have the result that we are all looking for. In as much as we want young goalkeepers to come in, you also need to tap from the weight of experience that those goalkeepers have, okay?
The players also had a chance to have their say.
The way we are trained, the way for the game and focus on the game. I think I'm not afraid for anybody who's coming from Europe or somewhere, because I believe myself I can do it and have a talent to play the football and the game.
As for me and my colleagues, they are just coming up, and I pray, me and him continue to, do our best, because Nigeria, they are always, in need of the best of the players.
The right fullback position for the Nigerian national team depends on the coach. I've been saying that for a very long time, so it's left for the coach to choose who is going to play the right fullback position.
Nigeria takes on Tanzania on September 5 in continuation of the 2017 AFCON qualifier. Basiaye, CoreTV News, Abuja.
And it's a wrap on CoreTV News at this hour. My name is Omotayo Alo. Thank you so very much for watching.